And at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Can you aggregate an audience to drive an outcome?
Hi everybody, I'm Mike Shields of Next to Media. My guest today is Michael Guth. He's the SVP of Marketing at Spectrum Reach. Hey Michael, thanks for being here.
You bet.
So we've been talking about the broader topic of CTV advertising is growing. It's mostly been traditional TV brands kind of moving dollars over for the first round. The hope is that it's going to be a much wider pool of brands, a lot more coming from the small businesses, local advertisers. Are you seeing that yet? Is it slow going? And then are they able to do the sophisticated targeting that they would like to in this medium? That's a big question.
Big question. A lot of good answers to it. So, Spectrum Reach is, as you know, part of Charter Communications. Our bread and butter is that small, mid-sized business. We're in 91 markets, 36 states, and have 30 million addressable households. And so that combination of broadest reach, deepest inventory, best data allows us to create solutions for those small businesses every single day. And so that's not just with CTV, it's also with traditional inventory as well. And what's sort of interesting is that we actually find those small businesses are most curious and most eager to experiment and to explore and really understand.
So they're not daunted by this. I don't have clean rooms and data. I don't. This is not my area.
No, that's the next step. So the first step is how do I understand? How do I leverage television in a way that it's a meaningful part of my mix?
Right.
And so we do a lot of work with companies like BlockRaf and Innovid to really think about showing what attribution could be. So the next step is, okay, now that I have an interest and an appetite in television, interest and appetite in attribution and data, how do I think about the data that I have? And so we've been doing a lot of work educating small businesses, but also helping them understand that they have a really interesting data set. And there are ways that we can work with them to preserve that, protect that, to make that privacy focused and match it with our data as well.
So is that the kind of thing they've been sitting on this data, or they don't know how to actually extract
it? They
didn't
know. They've thought about it from email campaigns. They've thought about it from sort of the traditional digital. Now you can take that, match it with your data, and really exponentially create new value and new opportunities.
Now the other challenge you hear, I guess, is there's CTV is growing like crazy, but it's fragmented. A lot of different players, all have their own logins, platforms, data rules. That's got to be challenging for those brands that are just getting started in using data, right?
It is impossibly. We talk about this incredible fragmentation and chaos in the media world. It's hard enough to understand the power of television, right? But where do you go? How do you think through it? And our answer is we harness the chaos. Because the nature of our business, as a traditional cable company, but now, we've got the largest streaming app in the country. We have third-party relationships with any number of providers. We just recently announced a collaboration with Amazon Ads in the local market as well. We can say to you, we got it. We represent 80-90% reach in the marketplace. We have more inventory than anybody else in the marketplace. And so rather than you having to worry about aggregating audience, small business owner, what outcome do you want? Because we've got the audience aggregated in a really simple, actionable way.
So you led me to my next question. They were probably thinking about ROI in a different way than someone who's in retail media, for example. Are they relying on new currencies? Do they care much more about outcomes based? What are they looking for from television that maybe is different?
Yeah, I think underestimating small business at your peril. I think there is a wide range of knowledge and a wide range of understanding. And so you have, we segment the marketplace. There are those who recognize the value of television from an awareness standpoint, top of funnel, are recognized at the coffee shop, want to be in sort of that sports advertising because there's a value to that if I'm associated with that premium content, I'm a premium customer. I'm a big business. There are others who grew up in the world of digital marketing and want to understand that ROI, want to understand how every impression, what that return is, and we develop solutions for them as well. There are those who are very comfortable with their data sets. There are those who have not even started to scratch the surface there. And so our job, with our sales organization across every one of these markets is to scale it
Service
up and down,
every
depending on what that is, and create those solutions and make it easier to sort of say, what is it you want to accomplish, and let us sort of solve that for you rather than saying, here's what you need to be doing.
Those brands that came up through digital, that's collectively where a lot of the big money is right now on Facebook and Google in particular. What do they do about TV creative? They haven't typically executed that way. Can you help them there? Are there companies out there that can help them get going?
So it's a great question. So the biggest barrier for most of these companies is the fear of television.
Right.
It is only big brands. This is overwhelming. Creative is going to be hard.
This is like a different,
it's a different animal. I don't really know. Right? I'm not worthy.
Right.
I don't know. And so we have really worked over the last few years to help democratize that process, to help simplify it. So on the creative side, we've worked with a company called Waymark for a number of years that is AI-generated commercials. And so you literally say the name of your company. Within 3 minutes, a commercial is created with sound and imagery, and they're powerful. What we learned was, while that was a great product to make available, businesses are still somewhat intimidated to create a commercial. And so what we've done instead is we've educated our sales force. We have an in-house agency. We have a handful of people who can create these commercials really quickly. And so we can have a salesperson go to a business and say, hey, we'd like to talk to you. We've created a commercial. Here is what it could look like for you. We've worked to ways to sort of demystify the way you can sort of build a media campaign, to sort of show them what's possible based on what outcome you want to do. And so each step along the way, we're saying it's not as hard as you think, and then we can get that measurement in the back end to show you that it's more effective than you might have imagined.
So what's next for this sector? What do you want to see in 2025, or what are some big obstacles you're hoping that we kind of tackle and overcome collectively as an industry?
You know, I think, again, it's about focusing on outcomes. You know, the rule of thumb for us is always, is it simple, does it work? And we create as an industry so much noise about how we're different and how each have a different, better, special solution. And at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Can you aggregate an audience to drive an outcome? And the more and more that we can collaborate, and the more and more that we can recognize the areas that we can be useful and the areas where we need some help, the more effective that we're going to be. And I think, we were talking about Cannes. I think that was a big topic in Cannes. I was in presentations earlier today talking about how we partner with Innovate and BlockGraph in terms of creating attribution in compelling ways. We have the inventory, we have the audience, they have a way to sort of look at two data sets in a privacy-focused way, and a research methodology to drive it. If each of us tried to do one of those things on our own, it wouldn't work.
Right, but pulling that
all together. Pull it all together to create a simplified approach to the marketplace.
All right, well, it's going to be fascinating to see how it unfolds. Thanks so much for your time. Good conversation.
Thank you.